Hi, this is Irene at Inkworks, and I can't contain my excitement any longer. I'd received a package earlier this month, and I've been patiently, or not so patiently, waiting for the right moment to spring it. Now, this video is to give you a look-see at the goodies I received from a kind viewer, and it's also to whet your appetite, because although there are no swatchings or demonstrations this time, these items will be featured in future content. It's whizzing by pretty fast here, but we'll get a better look at things once they're all out of the box. I'll take this moment to say thank you to Sarah Bailey of the YouTube channel Sarah Bailey Arts for this generous contribution. She's a fellow artist and fountain pen enthusiast. She'd asked to send some inks she didn't intend to use, and I said, sure, awesome. I wasn't expecting so much. I could try to be cool about it and say something like, I was pleasantly surprised. But I think there's a better word. In Britain, they say gobsmacked. And is that not the best word ever? We Americans need to adopt that one. Oh, and chuffed as well. I was given Birmingham Pen Company's Pop Art Purple, and I'm interested to see more from them. The first two colors here are their Tea Berry Ice Cream and Sterling Silver. Going by the samples on the lids, they appear to be quite pale shades, and that's something I'm eager to explore. I don't always want to be predictable Irene with her dark colors. In fact, I'm already visualizing some artsy washes with these inks. Now, a lot of these ink brands are unfamiliar to me, and I haven't yet tried them out, so I'm not going to rattle off the names. You can see them for yourself. Instead, I want to talk about the joy of collecting inks. It's multifaceted because it involves aesthetics and functionality, maybe emotions as well. I'm stating the obvious when I say inks are meant to be used. And while my correspondence this year has been spotty, simply knowing that the tools and supplies are at hand is both a comfort and a motivation. But I also make a point to use my fountain pens for note-taking and idea jotting. Yes, I have several fountain pen-friendly notebooks for that, but even my spiral-bound dollar store pad works in a pinch. Yeah, after a lifetime of ballpoint pens, I've now mostly purged them from my presence. Be gone, you foul fiends! Well, it wasn't quite like that. So I've been keeping several fountain pens filled at any given time. One could make the case that the whole pen and paper thing is all a bit silly. These days, there's no need to keep a pen of any sort on you. You don't need to sign for everyday things anymore, and if a signature is required, chances are it'll be done electronically with your fingertip. And if you want to jot down a note, you can do so on any one of your device's touchscreens. So you could say that paper pads, notebooks, and journals are old school and obsolete. But I believe we still use them because we like them. The feel of them, the look of them, the reality of them. Same with pens. More specifically, fountain pens, because to me, that's the sweet spot. I love the ability to choose a combination of pen and ink that suits my personality or my mood. But I'm not going to deny the romanticism. It's why people search out vintage clothing. It's also why people prefer a vinyl record over a digital copy. We might not always analyze why we do these things. We just know it makes us feel good. I don't recall what my point was, but I remember before I started watching pen videos on YouTube about a year ago, I had no clue that so many people were into it. I mean, I knew one could go out and buy a fountain pen, but I associated that with corporate executives and funeral directors. I was wrong. Because it turns out that quite a lot of artists are attracted to fountain pens and the inks that love them. As my ink collection grows, so does the importance of storage. A while back, I watched a Chris Science video where she showed her solution to storing inks, and it was spice racks. I actually like that idea because the shallow depth and ability to wall mount them would keep them off my desk and out of the way, but still highly visible. That's the key. Because out of sight, out of mind is a cliche for good reason. My ink collection has now outgrown the wooden box my brother refinished for me, so I've dedicated that to pens only. But there's no way I'm shoving my inks into a drawer, because I know that subsequent things will get piled on top until I eventually forget I even have them. My inks deserve better. Chris credited the spice rack idea to another YouTuber, but I don't recall the name. A link to Chris's video, however, is in the description. I'm embarrassed to admit that if I were watching someone else show all of these ink bottles and not swatch them, I would be thinking, really? You couldn't be bothered to test them out? But consider this. There are nearly 24 inks here. So yes, this is a teaser video. Get over it. That's a phrase that's been out of favor for at least a decade. You can thank me for digging it up and breathing new life into it. Gimme a Break, however, can stay in the 80s where it belongs. Just a little heads up regarding upcoming content. With the recent order from Fountain Pen Revolution, this package from Sarah, and some holiday gifts, I'll definitely be indulging in some new pen and ink logbook sessions. That's probably what I'll focus on for the near future. So I expect it'll be a mostly pen and ink January. But I was also gifted other art things, such as watercolor papers that I have not tried before. So, of course, more watercolors and gouache projects are in store as well. And that will likely show up either at the end of January or in February. I remember hearing another YouTuber say, "Don't tell your viewers what's in store," which kind of sounds weird, but I can understand not wanting to raise expectations that might not be fulfilled. I can even appreciate a keep 'em guessing sort of methodology, but I try to not be too hard-nosed about those things. I'd rather be flexible and adjust situationally. Have I even mentioned how stoked I am about playing with these inks? There are all sorts of colors. Some of them even appear to be shimmering. That's something we haven't explored yet here at Inkworks. So yeah, I'm beyond excited. I'm happy to share this ink-filled unboxing. I'm even happier I didn't have to knock over the corner store to make it happen. Although I understand there are prison pen pal programs, they're only allowed to use ballpoint pens, at best. So until next time, if you want to keep enjoying your fountain pens, don't commit crimes. And stay artsy, my friends.